Get ready to rise above the noise and unlock your true potential. Welcome to Unapologetic Uplift, the podcast that's all about keeping it real and helping you live your best life.
I'm Kim Staples, and I'm thrilled to be joined by my beautiful co-host, Ianthe Mauro, on this journey of unapologetic growth and transformation.
Together, we share unfiltered thoughts, practical strategies, and advice on manifesting without the fluff, encouraging you to prioritize self-care physically, emotionally, and energetically so you can make things happen without making yourself sick.
In a world that often tells you to dim your light, we're here to help you shine brighter than ever and be seen in your best light. Join us as we dive into the art and science of living unapologetically and reaching your full potential.
Buckle up. Get ready to learn, grow, and evolve with us on Unapologetic Uplift. New episodes released weekly.
Welcome to our very first episode of Unapologetic Uplift. I'm Ianthe Mauro, and I'm here with my dear friend, Kim Staples. And we wanted to begin this very special, very first episode by setting an intention on a candle for all of us. So if you have a candle, go get it now. Because setting an intention on a candle, it will actually enrich and allow that intention to take flight. And it tells your subconscious that this is really happening because this live flame here is going to carry our intention up and it will be even stronger. I encourage you to do this every time you light a candle. So our intention today, Kim and I spoke about it, is that we give ourselves permission to be unapologetically authentic today. And so it is.
The episode today is for us to introduce ourselves, let you know who it is we are and why we are starting this podcast, Unapologetic Uplift, and a little bit about what we have in store for you.
My name is Ianthe. We're going to just model for you what authenticity is, as you can see. So we have an idea of what we want to share with you, but always we allow, and this is the thing about our podcast and our friendship, we allow for the flow of what comes in to come in without self-editing, getting in trouble, making ourselves wrong if somehow we go off onto a tangent. I call myself now, I've gone through a lot of things. I've been many things. In fact, I even did, this was fun. And I wonder if you've done this, Kim, but I wrote down one day all the different roles that I've had in my life. And it was actually surprising. I've been a telemarketer at one point, like literally in my teens, and worked at a video store and a yogurt shop. And I was a stylist. I worked in the garment district. I was a high school drama teacher, but all of that, I could go on, and an actress and a model and a speaker, storytelling events, mommy and me classes. I call myself a visionary muse for seasoned entrepreneurs. So that's what I've stepped into now because I realized what could hold everything that I've done and all that who I am. I am a candle designer and fragrance designer. I am a supportive coach. I've been called nurturing, and I love that word. I would love for this podcast to somehow be nurturing for you, for your soul, for everything about you, for your heart. And also fun, and also silly, and also sometimes controversial, and also maybe piss you off, all of it. So so what I love about being able to say, I'm at a point now in my life, over 50. So those of you who know, who are with me in this over 50 club, we thought that we had this massive, don't tell me what to do. And I've got this, and I don't care what people think when we turned 40. And it felt really exciting. But then we found out that it gets way deeper and easier to be ourselves after 50. A visionary muse for seasoned entrepreneurs. That's what I call myself. I'm also a candle designer. And under that umbrella, I can do many things, including sharing a podcast with my dear Kim Staples. I'd love to hear you introduce yourself.
Thank you. That's so beautiful. And I love how we are free to show up here in all facets of ourselves because there are so many different versions of us. I'm Kim Staples. I am a cutting ties coach turned healer. My intention was to be a coach, but I actually ended up becoming a healer, and that kind of chose me as I started picking up different modalities to support my coaching clients. I very quickly learned that I have this knack and skill for healing, and it just evolved. And here we are. I have quite broad background as well. I have also been a telemarketer at periods in time when I was much younger, bartender, server. I have a degree in business, a diploma in marketing, and I had a 10-year career in the fitness industry where I ran fitness clubs for Canada's largest fitness company. But my favorite part of that job was actually the coaching of it. I had a large team of personal trainers, salespeople, customer service reps. We even had a daycare. Right? And my favorite thing was to coach the personal trainers in developing their personal training business and my sales associates. It just really lit me up inside and piqued my interest into becoming a coach, which then led to me becoming a healer.
That is so beautiful. And I know that everyone who is tuning into our podcast is going to get the benefit of all of your healing because I've gotten the benefit and it's amazing. So, this being our first episode and our intention setting about we all want to give ourselves unapologetic permission to be more authentic. Why did we decide to start a podcast? How did this come about? Let's just put that out there for everybody to understand. We met on an app called Clever, and we were made fun of a little bit by our kids because we said we want to meet in person. And they're like, wait, stranger danger? Are we supposed to not meet people that we just meet online? And so we arranged this situation where it was super last minute. Her family was taking a road trip. And I realized, wow, wait, it's only like a 2.5 hour veer off of your plan if you come to my house. Come see me. So with literally no warning, it was like less than a 24-hour warning. Like, okay, they're going to show up at my door. And then it got real. Now, what led up to that, before that, is that when we met on this app, we didn't just meet, we got into a community right away that someone else was leading. And we found that it was great to be in community together. And we decided, you know what? We can start doing something regularly. Let's do something every week. And we called it was on Wednesdays, and we called it Self Empowerment Wednesdays. And we would meet every Wednesday and do a social audio room where we talked about things that would help with self empowerment. And it was wonderful. And we found that we had this great rhythm and we could trust each other so much. And we did that for almost a year before we said, actually, we didn't say it. You said it, Kim. You said, I want to do a podcast. Do you want to be my partner? And then guess what I said? Yes. I didn't even, and that's the thing too, as I don't know if it's everything that I've learned in my life or just how I was brought into the world or what it is, but I trusted myself. I trust my gut intuition more than I ever have. And when Kim said that, even though I could have come in with this whole voice of, how is that going to make us money? What's the ROI? What is that going to cost me in time, in energy, in dollars? How is that going to make sense for my brand? What does that mean? What does that None of that. Literally none of that. I just had to pull that out of thin air just now and make it up because that's what I think a naysayer might say. I didn't have any of that. What I had was, yes, let's go. Okay, what next?
I am definitely here for the full body yeses as well. That is actually how I have been leading my life over the past several years and how this healing business came into fruition. I was following the breadcrumbs and checking in with my gut and waiting for the full body yeses, which may sound a little scary or even crazy, but it is what it is. And this is how you live a soul led life. One of the reasons that I felt really inspired to start a podcast was because, yes, the Self Empowered Wednesdays, I was seeing how much it was actually helping the people in the audience that would show up week after week to listen to us share. but also on my own journey of self development and getting to where I am now. I was a teen mom that dropped out of high school and at one point was on welfare, struggling to make ends meet, could barely pay my rent and get by. And I struggled over the years a lot getting from there to where I am now. I struggled with my mental health, anxiety, and there were times in my life where I felt really alone, a large portion of my life. Felt really alone and like I was trying to figure out everything for myself. There were times where I questioned my sanity and I thought maybe I was crazy because I wasn't like everybody else. I'm different. I'm not like most people. Ianthe is different too. We have managed to find a lot of people that have things in common with us and we've built a beautiful community. But it doesn't take away from the fact that this journey can be really incredibly isolating and lonely. The journey of being an entrepreneur and the journey of growth, the spiritual journey of being the absolute best version of yourself is hard and it can be really lonely. And I just really want to share my experience so that other people that might be going through similar know they're not alone and they might be able to find some answers.
Oh, I love that so much. Yes. And that is your generous heart and your willingness to be. The word is vulnerable, which we get that word thrown out a lot. But this is what you're seeing, everyone, right now. What Kim just expressed, that is what vulnerability looks like. It's the willingness to share things that have been hard for you that you've overcome or are still a work in progress in order to help others. You're not holding back. You don't hold back. And so we have witnessed helping others and incredible breakthroughs, which we hope all of you get and we hope we continue to get.
Helping others. Well, both of us do this for a living. This is a way for us to give back and give from our hearts. It feels good to be able to give at different levels. So, like, we're just giving generously here and we aren't gatekeeping. We're sharing everything here. So, anybody that wants to plug in and get the most out of it is more than welcome.
And there are things that we're going to say and the ways that we are, where you'll say, I've heard that before. And here's the beauty of it. I don't think there are necessarily new things. I do know for a fact that there are moments in our life when the same thing we heard 5 years ago, we hear it out of someone else's mouth. And all of a sudden, wow, we get it. So it's not like we're pretending that what we're giving you here is so brand new and you've never heard the words authentic and or real authenticity or awkward silences or any of the things we talk about. But I promise you that when you're ready, if you're ready, it's going to land on you differently. And we hope that those moments happen for you here, or at least we entertain you, or at least we get you to where you're going if you're driving in the car and listening to us, or taking a walk or running, that we feel that we're in community the way that you described, Kim, also, because we don't have to be alone. And ultimately, we are alone.
It's interesting when I thought I wanted to create a podcast. It was something that I've wanted to do for a long time. And I know something that you've shared, you have also wanted to do for a long time. And I was like, I don't really want to do it alone. I think Ianthe and I have this good thing going on with Self Empowered Wednesdays. And if we could take that and turn it into a podcast, it's not going to be the exact same, but we'll cover a lot of the same topics. And we don't have to do things alone. But also, and it is important to be able to do things alone. There's a fine line and there's a balance. And it's okay to do things alone. So not only is it okay, we should learn to stand on our own and be able to do things on our own. And I think that was an important piece of the puzzle. Like we both have started businesses on our own. We've built communities on our own. We've done a lot on our own to get us to be the people that other people want to collaborate with, right? So I think there's really something to be said about doing it on your own, not being afraid to do it on your own, and collaboration. Because yes, collaboration is so important. It's such a beautiful thing and we need it to get to where we want to go. But first we have to become the person that people want to collaborate with.
I love that so much. And yes, I thank you. And thank you for inviting me to collaborate with you on this because really this was your spark. And I did say yes immediately because it was the right timing. You were the right person. And I love that we get to work together. I love that I get to show up and we get to actually show in real time what it is to be a good friend. And it might sound really simple, but there, there are some ways to be a good friend that I think we've lost a little bit because of technology. Technology's made it so, and it's ironic. I know, I get it because we did meet on technology, but we've also become real friends in real life. I think that, and you can become real friends in technology life too. I just think that because it's such an immediate, there's this immediate gratification of I can reach thousands of people in 1 second. If I go live on this platform right now and they can feel like friends, that we lose some of the art of what you do to show up as a good friend is lost if you can just turn on the camera. So I love that we're also able through this podcast to show what it looks like to be able to, you find someone, you resonate with them, and you go further, you actually reach out, you actually invite them to do something. In our case, it was, I invite you to come to my home with your whole family. And Kim says, I invite you to do a podcast with me every week. And we say yes. And we could say no too and still be good friends. There are ways to navigate this stuff. But it's just the art of friendship. It's an art that I care a lot about and I want to just keep getting better at. And I want to feel like there's some way we can, if we can encourage all of you listening right now, because here's the thing, it affects our health. If there were a lot of studies, but there's a Harvard study done about the effects of people on to loneliness. It is so detrimental. It is an absolute epidemic across the globe.
I think that it is an interesting time because with all of the social media and people being online, we have connection just a click away, but people are forgetting how to connect. And social media isn't really social. The majority of people on social media use it in a very dysfunctional way and they dehumanize the person on the other side of the screen. This is where you see the keyboard warriors, the people that they're unfiltered, but not in a good way. It's like they're going on attacking people, trolling people, and really dehumanizing the entire experience when it's this is a tool that we can use to build connection when we are social and when we use it properly. And I think our relationship is a beautiful example of what can happen when you don't treat it as a non-human on the other side, as these are real people. This is real life. And you focus on building authentic, real relationships and being social with social media. I feel like being authentic can be really challenging for a lot of people. And I don't know if it has been challenging for you or if it's been easy for you to always just be yourself and stay true to who it is you are.
It actually took me getting autoimmune disease and getting a physical lump in my throat, Graves' disease, where my thyroid literally was swollen and it was diseased. And that's what got me to finally make the connection of if I don't speak up and have a voice, if I'm not authentic, it will actually kill me. And I'm not exaggerating because I ended up with so many problems. They actually, at one point, I don't know if I've even told you this, Kim, that when I first went, because I had heart palpitations and I thought something was wrong with my heart, I was 38 years old with two little children and I was terrified because something was very wrong with my body. And the first thing they said was, you have all the markers of bone marrow cancer. Yeah. And I panicked. Can you imagine hearing that? And they were wrong. Yeah. And they were wrong, 100% wrong. But what I did have was Graves' disease and it just did all this havoc with my blood work and made it weird. But it was a long journey, but now fuck it, I'm authentic and I almost never curse. I do it when it feels like it, I just have to do it. You won't hear me curse a lot on this, but when I do, there's a reason, always a reason.
I love when you curse.
Yeah.
But it's true when we are inauthentic and when we continuously abandon ourselves, it makes us sick. There, there's no denying it. And that autoimmune disease is linked to stress, anxiety, our mental health, which is all affected by how we take care of ourselves, how we show up for ourselves. And if we're not being true to ourselves, it,
So unapologetic uplift is literally, this is your ticket to unapologetically. The uplift part too, the word uplift, it's not the weird spiritual bypass of everything has to be pretty and positive. And no, the uplift is you are capable right now. You have every tool, even if you don't know it yet, and we'll remind you every week, but you have your ruby slipper moment right now. We're going to remind you that all you have to do is click your heels. You are able to be authentic, to have a voice, to be liked and disliked. Doesn't freaking matter. You are going to be able to be authentic. I think that is a beautiful place for us to land this first episode because it's saying we touched on a lot of things. You got to know us a little bit more. You understood, or we gave you a taste of why we're doing this and what to expect. We kept authenticity at the forefront of the conversation, kept going back to it. And we touched on a few things that have bothered us and that we are working on. And we welcome you with all of our heart and our soul and our arms and everything. So I think this is a beautiful place to end our first episode. And I thank you so much, everyone tuning in, or if you watched a bunch of episodes and now you're coming back to this one to get to know us better. I just want to thank you. Just know that there is always someone that you can be with who can be a good friend. And it starts by you being that good friend to yourself first, and then to everyone that you meet, and really setting that intention for yourself and noticing and recognizing how your body feels in certain situations. And that will help your authenticity also, instead of having a script going into conversations.
Yeah, I love that. And I also just got a really great idea for our next episode, which might be a little controversial, but hey, that's what we're here for. I know we had mentioned something possibly for next week. So let me know if this resonates with you. But I think I would really love to talk about the difference between relationships in business, pleasure, social media, and how people put on these professional masks and it takes away from their authenticity. And personally, for me, I am the same person across the board. And I know some people think that they should be different in a professional setting versus a in-person setting, or in their personal life versus their professional life. And I say, no, it's all the same. I am going to show up as myself in business, and I'm going to show up as myself in person. And I don't want to do business with somebody that I wouldn't be friends with. And I don't want to be friends with somebody that I wouldn't do business with. And I actually would even go as far as to say it gives me the ick when I see people put on their professional mask and essentially pretend to be something they're not in the business world. And they finesse and try and get people to do business with them and roll out the red carpet, so to speak. And that's not actually who it is they are.
So good. I'm all in for that. And I have been guilty of being that person too, who will be different people. And I remember doing that. I remember even being at a trade show and thinking, whoever walks up to the booth, I'm going to first feel into who they are and what they like. And I'll find something that I have in common, and I'll make sure that, and I'm like, what? Where am I then?
I've been that person too. I was that person in corporate because I thought that's what I needed to be, because I wasn't professional enough. I wasn't enough. And I would put on this mask and be a different person in my career and a different person in real life. And that really deteriorated my mental health and made me unwell because I wasn't staying true to myself. I wasn't being me. And let's do a whole episode about this.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Okay. So we know what next episode is going to be about. And thank you so much, Kim.
Thank you. And thank you to everybody listening. Please do subscribe. This really helps us as we are launching this podcast and getting it off. And remember to put on notifications so that you do not miss an episode. We love you and look forward to being with you next week. I think that's a wrap.
I like so much about that.
Thanks for joining us on Unapologetic Uplift. If you enjoyed today's episode, please share the love and tell a friend about us, and give us a review.
Please don't miss a thing. Subscribe to this podcast and explore our sponsors, Objects with Purpose, Eco Luxury Candles, and Divine Activation membership.
Objects with Purpose is more than an eco-luxury candle brand. They are time travel devices in the form of a candle. Light the 3 wicks representing past, present, and future with the validation that you are exactly where you need to be. And if you're ready to raise your level of consciousness and step into your unapologetic, unfiltered, and unbothered era, join the Divine Activation membership at cuttingties.coach/queen. With 3 tiers to choose from, you'll find the perfect fit to support your transformation.
Thank you for your listening and love. We'll see you next Wednesday on Unapologetic Uplift.
Welcome to the Divine Activation membership, a movement for women that are ready to raise their consciousness and step into their unapologetic, unfiltered, and unbothered era.
With your heart, live authentically and become the magnet for all of your soul's desire.
Grow, connect with your heart and body, release unhealthy and unhelpful thought patterns, heal old wounds, create new neural pathways, and reprogram your subconscious with high-value beliefs so you can manifest the life you're meant for.
Ready to take a break from what's holding you back? Visit cuttingties.coach and join the Divine Activation membership today. Hey, unapologetic souls. I'm Ianthe Mauro, founder of Objects with Purpose, candles that touch the soul and the body. I've released a limited edition 3-wick candle collection in 3 fragrances inspired by a time in history. The Time Travel Collection, because scent evokes memory and lighting a candle can truly transport you to your highest self. Anytime.
Ianthe's candles are truly special, clean, safe, even for the body as a solid perfume or massage oil, and smell amazing. But what truly fills her heart is empowering others to be seen in their best light.
In 2020, when the 200 stores that sold my candles across the country closed their doors, I knew it was time to give back. I started guiding others to launch their own candle companies and design candles and fragrances for other brands as a way to share light in a dark time.
So why settle for just any conventional candle? Light the 3 wicks in each Objects with Purpose candle. You're supporting handmade in California, small batch, artisanal, eco-luxury, and treating yourself to a memory-evoking evolution. Visit ianthemauro.com to discover your next favorite candle. Let the olfactory experience inspire cherished memories.